Jai Hind viewers, welcome back to the Global Strategic and Defense News. In today's edition of Achievers Articulate, we are going to talk with a very eminent and esteemed personality who has a very credible name in the academia. And the topic of today's conversation is success as an academician. Well, viewers, I've always believed that the academia plays the most important role in either one's personal or professional life or in the growth of a nation. So, as India is poised towards Viksit Bharat 2047, I thought it totally appropriate to talk with one of the most distinguished academicians of the country. And he is Dr. Naveen Kolloju, who is the Associate Professor in Woxsen University. He has done P.hD from the prestigious Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. He qualified the JRF in 2012. He has worked in the academia in the Aligarh Muslim University and the Arba Minch University in Eithopia. And he's also authored 2 books, and 18 of his research papers have been published in prestigious journals. So welcome, Dr. Naveen, to the Global Strategic and Defense News.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. At the outset, I extend my heartfelt thanks to Global Strategic and Defense News channel for inviting me to the insightful conversation. I'm also especially grateful to for giving this opportunity to reflect on my academic journey and to share my personal views on my, successful path of academic journey. And of course, it is an honor to be part of this platform that contributes so meaningfully to public discourse on strategy, defense, and global affairs. Thank you.
Welcome. Dr. Naveen, my first question is that please tell us about your incredible life journey from the time as a school student to now as one of the most, distinguished academicians in the country.
Thank you, sir. My life journey as an academician is rooted in humble beginnings, sir. And I hail from a modest, it is from Warangal, nearby Warangal town. My schooling was done in Warangal town itself. And coming to my intermediate, I did my intermediate in HCC, History, Economics, and Civics. I topped in that. It was in 2003. And then during my graduation, I have gone to Hyderabad and I did in Nizam College. It is very prestigious college in Hyderabad. My specialization was in EPP, Economics, Political Science, and Public Administration. And then I took a very, big turn. I got a seat in Central University, that is Hyderabad Central University, where I pursued my master's in political science. Where I exposed to, proper academia, like, there are eminent scholars, teachers who taught me during my master's in political science. And then after that, I continued my Master of Philosophy, MPhil, and PhD in Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. And of course, it was also one of the, we can say, best platforms for me to expand my academic horizons. I worked on, during my PhD thesis, I worked on impact of microfinance institutions, how different kinds of microfinance models are, impacting not only poverty alleviation, but also how it can contribute to financial inclusion of the rural poor women. So it was a field study in both the states like Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, where how different institutions, not only, as I told you, not only for poverty alleviation, but also, sir, there are private institutions as well, like private microfinance institutions as well. They are charging, high interest rates. So how could we see, like, despite having many government models like SHG bank linkage program, why women are still depending upon microfinance institutions? So I worked on these areas. Immediately after my PhD, I got a very good opportunity in Aligarh Muslim University, where I worked as an assistant professor in Center for Women Studies. It was a life-changing opportunity to me because, till that time I was a scholar, and then I got an opportunity to be a teacher, like assistant professor in that, and I worked for 1.5 year there in Aligarh Muslim University, and then I have gone to Ethiopia, Africa, one of the promising countries in African continent, Ethiopia. I worked in Arba Minch University, where I taught for master's program like governance and development studies. In fact, I could say that I am one of the founding members, faculty members for master's program. After I joined, we started, establishing a master's program in governance and development studies, and we prepared curriculum and all. I worked for 7 years there in Arba Minch University, and of course, it was again a good opportunity because I exposed to international, platform, academic platform where I could meet different scholars from different places there during the conferences or be it or during some online events and all. After that, I have joined Woxsen University. Currently, I'm serving here as an associate professor and, of course, an area chair, Department of Politics, Policy, and Diplomacy Studies. Here, of course, not only that, even I am also a chair professor, Bruce Binodi Mescuta, professor of behavioral public policy, and I have some administrative responsibilities as well. I am also one of the Senate members of Woxen University. This is my academic journey, if I say from my schooling days to as an associate professor. It's like really fruitful and of course challenging. Thank you.
Sir, your journey is really very impressive and pretty much inspirational too. Thank you so much for explaining it so well. So my next question to you is that how do you visualize the subject of international relations that is currently viewed by students who either take up this subject or who want to pursue this subject? How do these students visualize this subject of international relations?
Thank you, sir. Very good question. In fact, as I told you, I am the area chair in the sense that I am the department head of politics, policy, and diplomacy studies. We teach undergraduate students here in Woxen University. And if you look at the student, they're very much interested in opting for international relations courses. We do teach geopolitics of major powers, Indian foreign policy, Indian national security. There are different, international relations courses, we do teach here. And sir, one thing I observed during these times, when we talk about geopolitical tensions, especially this time,
Yeah.
students are showing much enthusiasm, much interest in taking up international relations courses, as I mentioned that the courses are. Not only that, sir, even if you see international relations, we can't see it as an isolation because now international relations as an academic discipline, it is very much linked to interdisciplinary courses. Even if you're talking about public policy, even you're talking about gender justice, climate change, everything is involved to international relations, especially in this geopolitical arena. So the students are obviously they're showing much interest in taking up the courses. Not only that, sir, if you look at international relations, has been, the scope of international relations has been widened these days. We can't just confine to, classroom discussions when we talk about international relations. We have to see how international relations can be, discussed, in the classrooms, and also how can we bring live examples in the recent times, what is happening across the world. So obviously, it has a much relevance to the student, not only sphere belong to political science, but also students from School of Business, for that matter, School of Technology, the School of Sciences. Anybody can take international relations as a subject. And in Woxen University, we do have for different interdisciplinary courses, in the sense that even a student belongs to School of Business or School of Technology, they can opt for few courses which they feel relevant to their own career. So these are the dynamics that have been developing, in terms of international relations. And sir, again, international relations, it is also a kind of a career opportunity. I could say that if you gain a very good knowledge on international relations as a subject matter, you can not only as an academics, but also you can work in different international NGOs, different UN government bodies. So nowadays, I could say that the scope of international relations as a subject matter has been widening day by day. Yeah.
Well, I totally agree with you. Firstly, this subject is so interesting, and like you rightly said, ever since the increased turbulence in the world in the last few years, we've seen the Russia-Ukraine war, the ongoing Israel-Hamas war, the recently concluded Israel-Iran war, of course, the military strikes between Iran and US. So definitely, there's a renewed interest because everyone wants to know what is going to happen tomorrow. And I
Yes.
really like, your this point which you said that in Woxsen University, you allow students of different streams to pursue subjects of international relations, because today everything is interlinked. And if a person is interested in commerce, he has to understand how the geopolitical scenario is, because commerce is linked to the geopolitical stability. So I really appreciate your
Exactly.
vision and the university's vision in giving this broadband to the students of various other streams also to study this subject. So my next question to you is that now that you've been so long in the academia, so what are the advantages and disadvantages of being in the academic field?
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Sir, this is my, what I could say, 11 years of my teaching experience into academia. There are many advantages, but I could say that, the best part of academia as a teaching or research, it gives you independent critical thinking, freedom to do your own work. There is no much pressure like, any other professions you could say. Here we have a independent scholar. Being an academician, we have an independent scholar. And, academia allows you to ask different questions. You can challenge dominant narratives and you can contribute meaningfully to the knowledge production. This is the best part of academia, that you are an independent research scholar. No, apart from your teaching, you could do your own research. Nobody can stop you in that way. And secondly, sir, academia gives you itself gives you a critical thinking nature. Whenever you're talking about anything, when you're discussing anything, it gives you one kind of a direction that you could see that in a critical narrative way. That kind of critical consciousness it can builds in academia. And apart from these, I could say very confidently and very happily that we can. It is a unique opportunity to shape the young minds. Especially in this era, this time. Now we could see students as also as scholars, not just as a students to gain knowledge from one way, like a one to other knowledge. It is like a they're also research scholars. We could see them as a junior scholars. We have a plenty of opportunities to shape them, not only just as a knowledge gainer, but also we make them to understand the world. How can perceive the world? How can we make different kinds of solutions? For example, I teach public policy in Woxsen University. So I just not only teach the theoretical foundations of public policy, but also even in India, different kinds of policies. How could we see policies? How these policies are impacting different sections of the community. What kind of policies and what types of policies are there? So it is one of the biggest opportunity, I could say, greatest opportunity to shape the young minds. Thirdly, academia, as I already mentioned, it gives you interdisciplinary exploration. Because even if you teach any courses, even if you do any kind of a research, now we have a scope of interdisciplinary. You can teach different subjects in different schools. As I tell you, school of business, school of technology. Not only that, even as a researcher, you can have a different scope to, like, for example, again I give my own examples. I teach public policy. I do research on financial inclusion, poverty alleviation, food security. So I try to connect these areas into school of technology, school of business, how different technology we implementing in financial inclusion sphere. We are talking about direct benefit transfer. Kind of a technology involved in that. So there is a scope for interdisciplinary teaching as well as interdisciplinary research. This is also one of the areas I could say that. The other advantage I could say, academia gives you a global engagement, sir. We have, if you have really interested in doing this as a a profession, as also a commitment, it gives you a very good platform to engage in global affairs. You can meet different people. You can have contact with different eminent scholars. You can have visiting lectures. You can have research collaboration with the eminent personalities across the world. These are the best advantages I could see in academia. And among all these things, it could give you a sense of pleasure and happiness that we can have an opportunity to shape the young minds. These are the best advantages I could see in academia during these, a span of my 11 years of teaching experience. If you see some kind of disadvantages, I don't see it as a disadvantage. Rather, there are certain challenges, I could say that. Especially the teachers who are coming in like early career researchers, early career teachers, the academia. they might feel some kind of administrative burden, because in these days, as an academician, you could also share some kind of administrative responsibilities. You could also share some kind of leadership responsibilities. So there, sometimes they feel some kind of a challenge, to balance both academia and also administrative and leadership responsibilities. This is one challenge I could say that. Secondly, again, for the early career academicians, maybe they feel that some lack of research opportunities, lack of research grants, and there is no security for permanent job positions. They see in that way. They see these are the challenges, but I don't think these are the major challenges. If you want to excel in academia, there are plenty of opportunities in front of you. So I could see these are the changes, these are the challenges. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, Dr. Naveen very frankly put in both the advantages and the challenges, the right word that you used. Uh, my next question to you is that what advice would you like to give to the young generation who are on the cusp of making a career in the academia for themselves?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to emphasize that, if at all you want to be in academics, don't see academics as just as a profession, you know. It is much beyond that, it is a lifelong commitment, you could say that, because it gives you different opportunities in terms of teaching, in terms of public engagement, in terms of contribution to communities, so we have to see academia not just as a profession, much beyond that, at the same time, when you want to be in academics, there are many challenges, as I mentioned. So you need certain discipline, you need kind of a resilience, and you need a sense of purpose to serve in this, dynamic and noble field. So this kind of thinking you should develop. And sir, secondly, you must see academia as nothing but an intellectual curiosity. Whether you teach any kind of a subject, whether you want to pursue any kind of a research, first of all, you need the element of curiosity, that gives you many wide opportunities, because curiosity itself is a sustained inquiry that leads to meaningful research contribution, whether it is teaching or whether it is research. So you have to develop inbuilt curiosity to do this noble profession. This is also very important thing. And sir, as an academician, if you want to be there, as your personal lifelong commitment, you need to engage both, teaching and research. You can't see these two things, separately. You have to, these two are very interlinked, mutually enforcing. So you have to balance both research and teaching. Why? Because I'm saying, sir, when you teach anything to the students, when we have a, like discussion with the students, sometimes they come up with different kinds of ideas, they ignite the discussion, different kinds of ideas they throw. So these ideas not only for a teaching thing, but also you can put on in research, so there are plenty of opportunities if you really give commitment to academia, like in terms of teaching and research, these things. And most importantly, sir, as a early career researchers, they must also focus on research methodology, developing research methodology skills and academic writing, and also articulation. These are very important, points, you could say, to have your, career in academia. These are very important things for early career academicians.
Very nicely put, Dr. Naveen. And I would like to add one more thing. Some years back, I saw the interview of the famous Bollywood actor Shah Rukh Khan. And he
Okay.
said one statement which got, permanently ingrained in me. And he said, when your passion becomes your profession, then you find a new energy in doing anything that you're embarked on the path upon. And I totally agree with you that
Thank you.
as an academician, if you're really passionate about your work, things like administrative responsibilities, research responsibilities, everything gets dovetailed because your passion and profession should match for anyone to excel in life. Very rightly put.
Yes.
Dr. Naveen, my last question to you is, how do you envision your future as an academician in respect to the vision, the impact that you intend creating, and the responsibilities that are with you or would come to you? So, what is your vision for future for yourself?
Yeah. Thank you, sir. As I mentioned, this is my 11th year of teaching of course, in academia. When you talk about the vision and responsibility, I could see that I wanted to develop this academia. When whatever I teach, it should be very interdisciplinary in nature. The knowledge should not confine to one sphere of students. When I teach for political science students, it should also, that kind of knowledge also should applicable to School of Business, School of Technology students. So I want to develop a interdisciplinary nature of subjects, so that I can expand my sharing of my knowledge to different sections of the students. That is one thing. Secondly, being a researcher, as I told you, you can't really see isolation like teaching and research. I want to do a very good, research and to bring good research publications that not only talking about a theoretical knowledge, but also how my research should also impact the society. Of course, I have been doing research on, I told you my PhD is on about microfinance models and how they are impacting poverty alleviation and financial inclusion. So, as a researcher, as an academician, your research should also focus on something contributing to the society. That kind of research should be done. Thirdly, what I'm aspiring, what I'm looking at is that, I should not confine to only in a university level teaching. Rather, my service should also give to society. I should mention this here in Woxsen University, we, the faculty, sometimes we go out, out to different, villages. We do ERS activities, ethics, responsibility, and sustainability activities. So just it's not just only confined to knowledge, but also should also contribute to society. This kind of feeling you should develop as an academician. And sir, not only that, academy, teaching, research, and ERS activities, but also since you are, you have been, in the academia, you should also contribute to leadership, administrative positions and leadership in any institution you work. For example, I have, started my journey as an associate professor here, but later on I have become a co-chairperson for China India Center, and then I am also a chairholder of a Bruce Bino Di Mescuta behavioral public policy chairholder, and also now I am a Senate member of Woxsen University, one of the Senate members of Woxsen University. These kind of leadership positions, give you some kind of an opportunity, scope to have some kind of institutional, development. I can recommend, I can advise my higher authorities to have different kinds of research institutions. So you should also engage in these kind of things. And uh, finally, I want my students to shine. Not only just as a, student, but also they should explore their avenues. Not only just as an academic career, but also if they want to excel, they have many other fields. They can work in NGOs, they can work in United Nations bodies, they can work in human rights association organizations, different organizations. So you should contribute in that way. Not only just stick to your teaching and research, but also you can have many opportunities in terms of ERS activities, in terms of administrative responsibilities, in terms of leadership responsibilities. So I really want to do these many aspects. This is my commitment and my responsibility.
Well, very great vision you have, Dr. Naveen, and I'm very sanguine that you will achieve each one of your, your dreams that you have set out. Most of which you already achieved, and for the balance, I'm sure it is a matter of time before every aspect that you have dwelt upon will be achieved by you. I have been seeing you the way you have proved your mettle as one of India's finest academicians. So it was a very incredible interview, speaking to you, learning from you. I'm sure the viewers too would have grasp of the great points that you have made. And thank you so much for coming on the GSDN. And viewers, before we end the show, I request you to like the show, subscribe to the channel, forward this video as much as you can. Most important, give your comments, because your comments, help me shape the future of GSDN, and your comments early also have been very valuable. So do like, subscribe, forward, and of course, comment on the video. And thank you so much, Dr. Naveen, for sparing your valuable time coming on GSDN and really enlightening me and my viewers. Thank you so much.
So thank you. Thank you. Once again, I take this opportunity to thank you and even the Global Strategic and Defense News channel, like encouraging like people like me to come here and to share my, academic experience. Thank you so much. And of course, I do follow your, channel, and of course I do that. And of course, we have a very good, collaboration, even right from the like a year ago, you could say that. I keep continue this, and we can have many academic and research collaborations. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Once again, thank you for giving this wonderful opportunity.
Welcome.